Hello, so the other day I was walking here on Main Street by this parking meter and I saw a woman standing here with her daughter and her daughter's friend, it looked like, I assume, and the daughter was trying to put the credit card in and pay, and her mother said frustratingly, "Don't make things harder for me," kind of scolding her daughter. And her daughter laughed nervously, probably a little embarrassed in front of her friend. But what was interesting was my experience of that moment, which is an experience that I'm having more and more commonly recently, which is to not even see the woman's behavior and have an opinion about it, could be more loving, blah, blah, blah. I immediately, instantly, automatically saw the place she was coming from in her mind, in her entire life, that would have, in that moment, what's happening in the circumstances, have her experience it as if somebody was doing something that was making it harder for her. So instead of just saying, oh, that doesn't have to be hard or whatever, I literally saw that she has an idea that there's people in the world and those people can or cannot do things, and what they choose to do will either make her experience of life easier or harder. So I didn't just see her experience, I saw the framework she lives with that has that experience, that circumstance actually create that meaning for her. And so you could call this seeing how she's seeing the world, seeing her worldview, and how that structure of that worldview gives rise to experiences such that if you didn't have that worldview, if you had a worldview where people can't make things harder or easier for her, then that wouldn't have been what she experienced in that moment. And so this is something I want to share because as I practice seeing more people's frameworks and worldviews that actually underlie their subconscious thoughts that give rise to their conscious thoughts that give rise to their experience, I become more empowered to help them and to help myself. Obviously, I see it in others because I practice seeing it myself. I'm always asking myself, when I'm experiencing that, when I have that feeling, what is the assumption that I'm making about the world that gives me the choice to either have that experience or not? Because every experience is a choice to either have or not from a subset of, from infinite number of experiences, but either having it or not means that I see the world in a certain way that gives rise to that or not. I had a friend that posted on Facebook a few days ago, she had been in a country for 20 minutes and she already hates the country. And it's like, of course, because when you have a certain orientation about hating or loving a country, then you will go into a country looking for the things that have you either hate it or love it, and you make those kinds of decisions, but those decisions and those experiences emerge from looking for that. Subconsciously, automatically, of course they will, and I'm subject to millions of these, an infinite number of these. My curiosity is, where are they, what are they? Because the more I become aware of them, the more agency I have to create a completely different experience. I go from kind of a binary subconscious choice to an infinite number of choices. And here's the thing, here's the really beautiful, powerful thing. The more I practice it with myself, again, I said, the more I can see it happening for others. And the moment that I saw the woman's frame of reference, that people in the world either make things hard for me or make things easy for me, I saw how in that moment she was actually completely innocent. Like, she could not have actually experienced what her daughter was doing in any other way. It would have been impossible for her because of that's the way she sees the world. And so because I could see that it was impossible for her to experience it any other way, I immediately, instantly, automatically, without any effort, saw her innocence in that moment. And what does that mean? Wow. The moment I see someone's innocence, the only experience I can have in that moment is compassion. Like when you see the innocence of a child, they didn't know any better, they couldn't have done anything differently. That was the awareness that they had. So they're not guilty of anything. And immediately I experienced love and compassion. And so to walk through the world as a result of this, of practicing this, and to see people doing things and saying things and experiencing things and facing things, and to where I previously may have had a judgment or I've got a better way that you could be handling that, not having that, more and more not having that, and instead having an automatic unconscious response, an automatic response, subconsciously emerging to the moment of seeing innocence and feeling compassion. It's just awesome. Everything, somebody is angry and you smile, not because you have judgment, just because, wow, you're feeling, your heart's open and you're feeling the love in that moment. So here I am with the parking meter, hanging out. I hope that you understand what I'm talking about and you see it, and I hope that it encourages you to practice cultivating an awareness for the matrix that everybody is living in. Start with yourself, work on you, cultivate the capacity, the ability to see your seeing. See how you're seeing things that are giving rise to your choices and experiences. The more you can see it in yourself, the more you see it in others. The more you see it in others and in yourself, the more you'll instantly recognize innocence, the more that you'll be experiencing compassion and love for yourself and for others. It's a beautiful thing. The more love you feel, the more you have access to the highest form of energy, which gives you more power. And if you want to create in your life and your world, that's where you want to go. I love you for listening. I'll talk to you soon.